Hi students, today we're going to discuss about ecosystem and biodiversity. Unit 1, ecosystem and biodiversity, in which we'll be in detail discussing about the biodiversity introduction, levels, genetic species, biogeographical classification of India, biodiversity at global and national level, endangered and endemic species of India, hotspots, threats, and conservation of biodiversity. The course outcome for this unit is to explain about the ecosystem, their structure, function, and how to conserve biodiversity. First of all, what is ecosystem and biodiversity? In previous classes, we discussed about ecosystem. So in this lecture, we shall concentrate on biodiversity. So the outline of my discussion will go in this order, like introduction, classification of biodiversity, values of biodiversity, hotspots, threats, endangered and endemic species, conservation of biodiversity. First of all, what is biodiversity? Bio means life and diversity is variety. So, biodiversity is the variety and variability among all group of living organisms. And biodiversity could be further classified into genetic diversity, species diversity, community or ecosystem diversity. Genetic diversity, it is the variety and variability or diversity within a species, that is between the individuals of a species. Say, for example, if at all you consider dog, you'll have so many varieties of dogs. If you consider mangoes, see, we have 5,000 recorded varieties of mangoes. Okay. And species variety, this is diversity between different species. So diversity of number of species. For example, monkey is a species, dragonfly is another species, meadow of beauty is another species. So they all belong to different species. And the third classification is ecosystem diversity. So this is diversity within a region, as we discussed in ecosystem already. So we have freshwater ecosystem, which includes lakes, ponds, and rivers. Then rocky coast, sandy dune, estuary, salt marsh, coral reef are all marine ecosystems. So we have different ecosystems. Now, what are the values of biodiversity? Now, this is a famous saying like Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not anyone's greed. Okay. And what are the values of biodiversity? So it provides, first of all, food, fodder, fruit, fuel, timber, and medicine. It also has commercial values so that it can produce commercial products like food, drug, and fuel. Third one is the productive value, like the products we obtain from the biodiversity. Some of the products are silk and ivory. And the social values that we consider many of the plants as holy plants and holy animals. Some of them are tulsi, mango, and the holy animals are tiger, snake, etc. The ethical value includes that we must always think that all life must be preserved. Okay. And recreational value. The beauty of the nature cannot be measured in terms of money. Okay. It cannot be compensated at all. So that gives us recreational value. An aesthetic value is like by noticing the biodiversity, many of them they have become very good in art, poem, literature. So it causes ecotourism. So aesthetic value. And the scientific value, like how to go about the what to say classification of gene pool, evolution, human welfare, etc. All those includes ethical values. So the values of biodiversity we have commercial value, productive value, social value, ethical value, recreational value, aesthetic value, and scientific value. At global level, biodiversity, we have 70% of all known species are invertebrates, while only 15% are plants. The tropical rainforest have species of both plants, insects, animals, leading biodiversity. And about 50 to 80% of the global biodiversity lies in these rainforest itself. More than one fourth of the world's prescription drugs extracted from plants, especially India is famous for Ayush, where it includes Ayurvedam, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. And most of the medicines are derived from plants. The temperate forests have much less biodiversity. Globally, roughly, it has been calculated that we have 1,70,000 flowering plants, 30,000 vertebrates, and 2,50,000 other group of species. So at national level, so far we discussed biodiversity at global level. So let us see how, at national level, India, how it lies in biodiversity. Okay, so India has a rich biological diversity of flora and fauna. Overall, 6% of the global species are found in India. It has been estimated that India ranks 10th among the plant-rich countries and 11th in terms of number of endemic species, 6th place among centers of diversity. So the total number of living species identified in our country is 1,50,000, and it is also one among 12 mega biodiversity countries in the world, and we have two hotspots in India. One is in northeast region, second one is Western Ghats. So we can also say India to be a mega diversity nation, because India occupies 2.4% of the total land area of the world and contributes 8.22% of the known global biodiversity. India is one among 12 mega diversity nations of the world, and it occupies 10th position in the world and 4th in Asia in terms of plant diversity, and 10th in the world in terms of number of mammalian species. We all belong to mammalian, and 11th rank in the world in terms of endemic species of higher vertebrates. In terms of number of species contributed to agriculture and animal husbandry, India is ranking 7th in the world. Now we shall move on to hotspots. What are hotspots? The hotspots are geographic areas which possesses high endemic species. So these are the places where only the endemic species could be seen only in that particular area. That is what is known as hotspots. Totally 25 hotspots are available at global level. Out of 25, two are present, as I told you. They are present in India, namely Eastern Himalayas and Western Ghats. Nearly 70% of the bird species in this hotspot are endemic, and about 40% of terrestrial plants and 25% of the vertebrates are endemic in these hotspots. Actually, India could be classified into 10 parts, and that is what is known as geographical classification of India. So, based on the area, the coverage, the climate, it could be classified into 10. So, the difference in color, like this is the first part, second part, third, fourth, fifth. First one is Trans Himalaya, second one Himalaya, third one desert, fourth one semi arid, fifth one Western Ghats, sixth one Deccan Peninsula, seventh one Gangetic Plain, eighth one coastal areas, ninth one Northeast, and the tenth one is islands. So India could be classified into 10 parts, and this we call it as biogeographical of India or biodiversity in India. Next, we shall move on to the threats to the biodiversity. What are all the threats that we have? Okay, first of all, habitat loss, poaching of wildlife, and third one is man-wildlife conflict. Always there exists man-wildlife conflict. So threats to biodiversity includes First of all, deforestation. See, every year we lose so much of forest and grassland. It has been cleared for conversion into agricultural lands or settlement areas for development project. So thousands of species we are losing, and thousands of species are losing their habitat. Okay, and the second one is destruction of wetlands. The wetlands and mangroves are destroyed due to the draining, filling, and pollution, which cause huge biodiversity loss. The third one is habitat fragmentation. The habitat is divided into small and scattered patches, and this is called habitat fragmentation. So, due to this, wildlife and songbirds are vanishing. And raw materials, for the sake of raw materials, they cut many of the trees for the production of hybrid seeds. The wild plants are used as raw materials. And for production of drugs, many pharmaceutical companies collect wild plants for the production of drugs. Even before we come to know the value of any plant, they are vanished. And also illegal trade on wildlife reduces the biodiversity. Then many of the development activities like construction of massive dams or for the sake of mineral dressing or ore removal, we go into many projects that leads to uh, destruction of various flora and fauna. And first one is poaching of wildlife. So this includes subsistence poaching, killing animals to provide enough food for the survival. Second one is commercial poaching. Commercial poaching includes killing animals to sell their products and hunting. And man wildlife conflicts, right from the beginning, always there is man and wildlife conflicts. When wildlife starts causing immense damage. Okay, in Orissa, for example, 199 humans were killed in the last 5 years by elephants. Endangered and endemic species. According to International Union of Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, the species are classified into various types, and some of them I'm listing here like extinct species, endangered species, vulnerable species, and rare species. So extinct species, they're already extinct, they're no more, no longer found in the world. This is one among those. And endangered species, their numbers has been reduced to a critical level. It is in immediate danger of extinction if we are not saving it. Vulnerable species, when it is population is facing continuous decline, polar bear, due to habitat destruction or overexploitation. And the rare species is it is said to be rare when it is localized within a restricted area. Only in particular area we can find, and they are thinly scattered. Such species are not endangered, but they are vulnerable. Some of the endangered species in India, 250 plants are endangered, 70 birds, 86 mammalians, 25 reptiles, 3 amphibians, 3 fishes, and 50 insects. Factors affecting endangered species like pollution, overexploitation, and climatic change. We have something known as Red Data Book, which includes a list of endangered species of plants and animals and what could be the remedial measures. So what people did was like about 160 countries, they conducted what is known as international treaties on endangered species, and they all signed, okay, so that we can nearly save 900 species. But this treaty also restricts international trade of 2,900 other species. But the drawback is not all the countries are the members of this treaty. Okay, so member countries can exempt themselves from protecting any listed species. The endemic species is the species which are found only in a particular region or known as endemic species. In India, out of 47,000 species, only 7,000 plants are endemic. Nearly 62% of our endemic species are found in Himalayas and Western Ghats. So let us continue with this endemic species in the next lecture. Thank you.